I about the first 16, 17 years of my life, there was some abuse, both physically and mentally. Simultaneously, I was attending Catholic school, and I was attending Mass 6 to 7 days a week, and I felt there was a lot of hypocrisy between what I was hearing from the church and what I was experiencing at home. And quickly at a young age developed the ability to cut relationships with anyone or anything. The anger and the resentment, the frustration and the hatred, it it manifested itself in ways that I wish it didn't, but it did through drug abuse, alcohol abuse, and many broken relationships, one after another. A couple years ago, because my son and he became friends with another boy, and his dad, Matt, and I became really good friends. And over the course of our friendship, I found out some things that we had in common with regard to experiences as kids and as teenagers, as young adults, but also what we had in common with our desire and our need to just be the best dad we can to our kids. I started to see a lot of what he had as a father. He got through Jesus, and being an agnostic for the last 20 years, that was hard for me to believe. But when you see it in front of you and you see example after example, it's hard not to be curious and want to ask questions. Starting about 4 months ago, I had a nonstop just feeling of, you need to call Matt and you need to have a conversation. I never had the strength to call Matt. He texted me. It was 2 months ago yesterday that I got a text, and it said, the family and I are going to church Sunday. Do you want to go? And I didn't ignore the message. I let him know that I wasn't quite ready to attend yet, but for the last couple of months I've wanted to talk to you, and I felt like that door was open. Matt and I, we met that weekend, had a great conversation. He introduced me to Adam. Adam and I met that Monday, and the challenge that I was given was to read one chapter from the book of John every day for 21 days. And Adam said, when you're ready, ask God to reveal himself to you. And after about 4 days, I was ready. I asked God that Wednesday, reveal yourself, or that Thursday, reveal yourself to me. And within the next 3 or 4 days, I can't count the number of times that he did. I was just thinking to myself, is this going to be something that's very visible? Is it going to be physical? I can see it. Is it going to be bright outside and the sun's shining, and then all of a sudden there's a quick downpour with no signs of rain anywhere? Is it going to be that, that something for my kids happens that brings them all the happiness in the world? Will it be something at work? I didn't know. Those were just thoughts going through my head. Less than 24 hours later, there was a downpour. Oddly enough, I took a screenshot of the radar because I couldn't believe that here's this rain that lasted for about 30 seconds while the sun was shining and went away as fast as it came. That night, my daughter, who it's her first year of softball, hits her first home run ever. Right after her game, my son had a baseball game that they hadn't won a lot, but they won that one. That was the happiest I'd seen my kids in a long time. All that in a 24-hour period was hard. It's hard to deny, but there was still doubt. 20 years of not believing. There was still some doubt, and I think, For me, it was more about my pride and wanting to be right than it was, was this as obvious as it seemed. And that next day I was driving again, and I just had an overwhelming feeling that I can't explain. The weight of all the anger, the hatred, the guilt was gone. My ability to feel forgiven for what I had done was immediately there, and the ability to forgive others, it immediately happened. I can't give credit to anything but my relationship with God, Jesus Christ.